All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we have an incident out of North Carolina. A driver in North Carolina had called 911 as an animal came flying through her windshield from above. This driver tells 911 that she just had a bald eagle drop a cat through her windshield. It was a 28-year-old woman by the name of Melissa Schlarb driving to work, minding her own business, when she noticed a bald eagle soaring in the sky above her car as she drove down a highway close to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. She noticed the eagle seemed to have something with it. It was carrying something. She said, quote unquote, "I'm not used to seeing them there." And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So she realized it had something with it. And once she realized that the cat, that it was a cat, it apparently could barely hold on. Perhaps the cat was too heavy. There didn't appear to be any struggle. So they're thinking that the cat was possibly already dead. And it dropped right through her windshield. And she said it sounded like a bomb went off. Now you can imagine something going through your windshield. That's going to sound like, a bomb went off, like something absolutely horrible just happened, especially when you least expect, you're not expecting something like that. I mean, none of us driving down the road are expecting something to come flying through our windshield, right? Especially an animal. So apparently, the evidence showed, or they think, that the cat was indeed already dead when it went through the windshield. Now, I hope to God it was. I hope that poor animal didn't suffer like that. They say that often when these eagles find an animal of that size, it's already dead because they do some to some level they do scavenge, and it's much harder for obvious reasons. It's much harder for them to take a cat that is alive. So apparently she continued on, and Melissa said that she could see the cat. She saw the cat in her passenger seat, and she had guts all over her, and there was glass everywhere. And you can imagine the scene, right? Glass everywhere, just blood and guts. Her call to the 911 dispatcher, she had said, "You may not believe me, but I just had a bald eagle drop a cat through my windshield." Uh, I don't know how. I don't know if any of you could stay calm. That'd be a difficult situation to stay calm in, right? But it shattered her windshield. Um, Now, imagine if the cat had gone through on her side. Imagine what could have happened, right? Thank God that she wasn't injured. But I know other things like this have happened with people having deer come through their windshield, and the deer is, kicking and bucking. And I've even heard of stories where people are killed because I've heard of a couple stories, actually a few, that have happened throughout the past where a deer comes through someone's windshield and the deer is still alive. And so it's, for obvious reasons, the deer is panicking and very scared. And so the deer continues to kick. And there's been a couple instances where people have actually been kicked to death by a deer trying to get out of a windshield. Or I knew someone, my mom actually knew someone, it was a friend of hers that was going down a local road here, and a deer came running out of the woods. And I don't know if it wasn't paying attention or what, but obviously, I don't think it would have tried to charge the car thinking that the car was another animal. I think the deer may have been running from something or for whatever reason wasn't paying attention. And this deer ran into the side of her car. She wasn't going down a fast road. It was this speed limit on this road, I think, is like 35 or 40. But the deer's antlers, it was a buck, and the deer's antlers came through the driver's side window within inches of her face. It stopped within inches of her face. So these things happen. I mean, these freak things happen, and you never can be too careful. Maybe I sometimes wonder that maybe that's why it's better to have a vehicle like a truck or something that sits a bit higher off the road, right? So, anyway, guys, just thought I would share that with you. I just saw that news story come out, and I was just thinking about it, like, wow, that could you imagine being her, and the mess and the Jesus. So anyway, yeah, watch out for falling debris, ladies and gentlemen, and you just never know what it might be, right? So let's be safe out there, and maybe we need to get some bulletproof windows in cars, right? So that no surprises will happen like that. But I feel sorry for the cat. Who knows what the cat's story was? Maybe the cat had been hit by a car, or for some reason was deceased, and the eagle saw it and thought, "Oh, that's gonna, that'll make a great meal." And perhaps it was too heavy. But anyway, prayers for the cat and prayers for the driver that had a sudden surprise.